7 habits that are destroying your mental health, right? And it's going to destroy your life as a man the longer you indulge in these habits. So I've put together a list of 7 habits that you need to be conscious of if you're indulging in these particular habits, right? And this will allow you to break free from society keeping you stuck, right? Because society, these people that are behind, the habits that I'm going to discuss today, are wanting to keep men weak, right? They want you to stay weak. They want you to indulge in these habits, right? And I also have been a victim of some of these habits that I've indulged in for about 8 years, right? And for those of you that don't know my story, I've had a history of indulging in 8 years of, bad habits, poor choices. And it took a toll on my mental health at one point in my life where I was, at the worst point in my life, and I literally wanted to just end everything, right? So I don't want you to go through what I've been through, right? That's why I'm so passionate about, talking about these particular topics, because I was so fortunate enough, and I thank the universe every single day for overcoming these habits and reconstructing myself into the man I needed to become. And now I'm here in a position which I'm so grateful for to, inspire and help, men on their journey to become the best version of themselves, right? Because each and every one of you watching this video right now has the underlying potential of becoming the best version of yourselves. I know it, because if I can do it, you can do it, right? So let's get straight into it. Now, the first toxic habit is technology and video games, right? These days we've got a problem with men indulging in, video games, living a life that's, behind a screen, right? And technology. So all the makers behind these video games, all the, the tech giants, they're trying to keep you hooked. They're trying to keep you, wanting more. They want to keep you hidden behind a fucking screen, right? And you just need to be very weary that this is hugely playing effect on your mental health, right? This is going to absolutely destroy you the longer you keep indulging in these habits, right? So just keep in mind, technology, video games, you need to cut that shit out, man. That's literally a false reality, right? And it's not something that you should be indulging in, right? But you need to be aware that this is a very, very bad, addiction of some sort, right? Because this is going to be playing with your mental health. You're literally sitting behind a screen, living a fake life, and it's not contributing to your self-improvement, right? So just be wary of technology and video games. Now we've got vaping, right? For these days, there's vapes accessible everywhere, right? Petrol stations, smoking shops, you might even see them in shopping centers, right? Vaping has so many chemicals. There is so many bad chemicals. All these chemicals are literally like names that I can't even pronounce, right? They're very harsh chemical compounds in vapes, right? And most of these chemicals are just artificial chemicals that are made in China, and it's going to impact your health in the long run, right? So just keep in mind that, you might see, vapes out there and people vaping, and you might think it's cool, right? But at the end of the day, the people that are behind making these products, they've done this for a reason, to get you addicted, to create a hype, right? To make it look cool to vape. But if you actually research and type in Google, for example, what chemicals are in vapes, right? Do some research and see exactly what's in a vape, right? So that way you can at least know what you're putting in your body, right? It's all about being aware and educating yourself with the reality of, what's in these things, because the people behind this, they don't care about your mental health. They don't care about what they're doing to harm your body, right? All they care about is making money, and all they care about is getting you addicted, right? So just keep in mind the vapes are no good, right? And it's a very big detriment to your, your mental health and also your actual health itself, right? So just keep in mind that all the chemicals in there are poisonous chemicals, right? So that's vaping. Now we've got alcohol and drugs. A lot of men these days, they'll work Monday to Friday. When it comes to the weekend, they'll drink, right? They'll have a drink. Drinking then leads to, making poor decisions, poor lifestyle choices. It also allows you, you waste a lot of money. It's not good for your health. Alcohol's a poison, right? And society is trying to keep you hooked on alcohol, right? Alcohol then allows you to open another door. The other door that opens will be drugs, right? So it starts with alcohol, it starts with drinking, and then it turns into, maybe starting weed as a gateway drug. Once you indulge in weed, the next thing is you might engage in, MDMA, you might engage in, doing pills and all these things. And this will then eventually take a hold of your life, right? Like it had done to mine. And you will then have no control of your life. You'll be at a point where everything's basically, you've got no control over your mind when it comes to drugs and alcohol, right? So it's a very, very toxic habit that you must identify and you must work on removing in your life, right? So that's a huge one, alcohol and drugs. We've got porn and OnlyFans. It's also another very toxic habit, right? Because when you indulge in watching porn, when you indulge in, and we've got so much access on the internet, like free access to porn, when you indulge in these sort of low, shameful acts, it's actually destroying your ability to demonstrate love, and enjoy a long-term relationship. It actually destroys you mentally as a man, right? Because you're indulging in watching something that's not real, right? The more porn you end up watching, the more it pushes you away from actually having real life intimacy with someone that, you want to actually, have in your life eventually, right? By watching these sort of, shameful acts, watching other people and stuff like that. That is actually something that's just throwing you off course when it comes to eventually, meeting someone. And, when you do meet someone, it ruins the whole intimacy side of things, right? Because you're watching it in a shameful way, right? And that will eventually play with your mind and it will restrict your ability to actually meet real life women. Okay, so stay away from that. And along with that topic, we've got OnlyFans, right? So these days, women are trying to keep trying to keep weak men, paying for their subscription services, right? This is some nuanced bullshit, right? That weak men are falling for. They're subscribing to a woman that they believe in their mind might be their virtual girlfriend, whatever it might be, right? It's literally destructive and very toxic. And women know what they're doing, right? They know that they're able to sell their body, right? They're able to be basically an online prostitute, sell their body to needy and desperate men, right? That don't get, any real life validation from women, right? They don't get any attention from women. They're trying to keep you hooked, right? And then they're trying to keep you mentally engaged with their content. That's why they've got subscription services. So don't give in to these destructive women who are finding a cheap and easy way to make money by selling their bodies, right? They've got no respect for themselves. They're not operating from, good values, good morals. They're operating from it's almost like they're the devil, right? They're the devil. They're trying to feed you some bullshit. You fall for the bullshit. You pay for their services. And now you're basically you've now fallen for their bullshit, right? As a victim. So you need to keep in mind that these women know exactly what they're doing, right? To men. They're trying to keep you weak. They're trying to keep you, falling for their bullshit, right? Getting you addicted to the content that they're creating, right? Because they're not creating purposeful content. Their main mission is to make money of weak men. That is exactly what they want to do. And the more you contribute to paying for their services, you know, indulging in the content that they create, it's going to mentally destroy you, right? Because it's a false analogy. Like, stuff like this didn't even exist back when I was in my 20s, right? You would never have women like selling their bodies. It was literally just porn. And then now there's been a nuance where women have got a way of, creating financial freedom by selling their bodies, putting themselves all over the internet, okay? And weak men are falling for it. So as long as you can realize this and not indulge in, falling victim to these women, then you'll start to awaken yourself to what you actually like. You'll actually wake up and go, you know what? This is wrong. I'm no longer going to indulge in this sort of shameful acts, and I'm actually going to find a real life relationship, right? So don't be one of those weak men that actually just fall for it and are not willing to put in the work to better themselves. And as a byproduct of bettering themselves, they get a girl who's worthy, right? So don't fall for these stupid women putting out content on the internet, right? They're shameful, they're degenerate women, and they're just purely only doing it being a money hungry bitch, right? So stay well and truly away from these sort of women. We've got people pleasing, all right? So people pleasing is another, toxic habit, because let's say you've got a bad circle of friends, right? You've got a bad group of, friends that are indulging in instant gratification, whether it's, maybe let's say hypothetically they're smoking weed. Deep down that it's not the right thing to do, but you do it just to please your group of friends, right? Because you've got, let's say, shit group of friends who've got bad habits. You now become a product of your environment, right? By indulging in these bad habits. And then you're doing it to be cool. You're doing it to, you know, please them, right? You're not doing it purely because you want to. You're just trying to do it because you're trying to please your shit circle of friends. So just be wary of people pleasing, because I used to do that. I used to try and, I guess, fit in with the wrong crowd. And then I fell down the wrong path with drugs, which then led to me being addicted to drugs, right? So be wary of, pleasing others. The only thing that you should be considering is literally just pleasing yourself, right? And being happy with yourself. That's the best advice that I can give you, right? So just please yourself and don't worry about pleasing others. Now, we've also, in conjunction with that, another toxic habit is comparing yourself to others, right? In this day and age, I can tell you right now that with Instagram, and, you might even come across this on some people's YouTube channels. They might be the same age as you, right? And you see them living either a lavish lifestyle on Instagram, or, they make videos like these sort of individuals on how much money they make, right? And it completely makes you feel shit because you're looking at them going, fuck, I'm that age. I am not making that much, or I'm that person's age. And look at their life on Instagram. They've got this, they've got that, right? Let me tell you one thing, man. Don't compare yourself to others, right? The only person that you should have as competition is yourself, right? And comparing yourself to others is so bad for your mental health, right? Everyone has their own journey in life. Who cares what that person has? I guarantee you the person that's consistently showing off all their materialistic objects on Instagram are living a false life, right? Are they really happy deep down? If they're being determined by materialistic objects, good for them, right? But deep down that materialistic objects won't make you happy, right? I'm someone who, had been living or being identified through materialistic objects. And all it does is it makes you want to just chase the next best thing, right? So keep in mind that comparing yourself to others is really gonna take a toll on your mental health, right? Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on yourself. And the only competitor you should have in your eyes is yourself, right? So keep that in mind. And the last habit that I'm going to go through would be junk food, right? Junk food, soft drinks, all that bullshit, right? The people who are creating the junk food, right? The soft drinks, all these sugary drinks that are not good for your, that's not good for your health, right? It's not good for your body. It's not good for your mind. All these things are trying to keep you hooked, right? They're trying to keep you weak, indulging in disgusting junk food that is not healthy for you, right? And it's not made for human consumption. Let me make that clear to you. It's not made for human consumption. All this quick fast food and all this crap is literally just going to ruin you in the long run. And you don't want to wake up one day where the doctor's saying to you that you've completely ruined your body because you've indulged in so much junk food that you now have to, look after yourself. You'll have to look after your health. You might have to go on medication. You don't want all these things, right? You need to stop this and understand that these people that are like the giants that are behind this, that are creating all the junk food, that's in the junk food industry, I should say, they know exactly what they're doing, right? They've done this on purpose, so you stay hooked. They've put all this bad stuff in these foods to make it addictive, to alter the smell, and get you hooked and keep you weak, right? So just keep in mind that junk food, soft drinks, all this crap is not good, for your mental health. It's not good for your overall health, and it's something that you just must be aware of, right? So these are the 7 habits that are destroying, modern day men in this day and age. And the people behind all those habits that I've gone through, they know exactly what they're doing. Their purpose is to get you addicted, get you hooked, and get you coming back for more, right? Like a little puppy dog. And they don't give a fuck about your mental health. They don't give a fuck about you progressing as a man. They want to keep you addicted and weak. And the quicker you can become conscious about this, the quicker you can, wake up to what your real potential is as a man, the quicker we can, create habits that actually serve us as men and become the best version of ourselves, right? That's just plain and simple. So just make sure that you're becoming conscious that you're indulging in these habits, right? And then you just need to work so hard on changing your identity, on becoming the man you always needed to become. And you need to start stacking up daily wins. You need to stack up daily wins, which I call the process. You need to stack up these daily wins each and every day that align with the person you need to become, right? Or the person you must become. Because let me tell you one thing, if you don't change your behavior pattern, if you keep indulging in these toxic habits, it's just going to put more and more strain on your mental health. It's going to keep you from being the man you need to become. And as time progresses in this day and age, let me make this clear, in this day and age, as time progresses, your mental health is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker, and you no longer are going to find any excitement out of life. You're going to wake up one day and be in the worst position ever, like I was. But unfortunately, some people are not able to, overcome this because they've indulged in it for so long. You don't have to be like this. You can literally end this toxic behavior now, and you can work on becoming conscious about it, reconstructing yourself into a new person, and then just keep working on those new daily wins or new habits that you're going to perform that align with the person that you need to become, right? So I will be doing a video on, how to properly change your identity, so that way you can, work on shifting your whole mindset. I'm going to make it very straightforward and simple for you, okay? So I'm going to make this video where I believe you can get a ton of value from, right? So this is something that I've got coming this week, okay? So just keep in mind, that you no longer have to fall victim or become prey to the people or the organizations that are behind keeping you weak, right? Keeping you addicted, keeping you engaged in these toxic habits. As a society in this day and age, men have forgotten what it feels like to be, present, what it feels like to, be human. We're just so stimulated with all these toxic habits or addictions that are put in front of us. And there is a reason behind, why society is doing this. It's to keep men weak. And the more they can keep men weak and addicted, the more control they have over you, right? So you need to fight back and take control of your mind and not let society dictate your life, right? You need to have control. You need to be in the driver's seat of your life and create the life that you want, right? You don't want to be in the passenger seat, getting taken for a ride and falling victim to, toxic habits that are no longer serving you, right? So I'm going to end this video here. You've got it within you to become the best version of yourself. It's not hard, right? And I'm telling you this because I'm someone that has been through bad habits, toxic habits, addictions for a long time with very poor mental health, right? And when you come out on the other side, you just want to help others be in the same position that you are, right? So that's what I want. I want you to truly change your life. You deserve it, right? You don't need to go through life engaging in habits that are no longer serving you, right? You need to create a life that you want, a life that you desire, a life that you get to dictate, and you don't let anyone else run that, right? So just be wary of that. But look, I'm going to end this video here. If you're new to my channel, you like the content I make, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps boost my channel. If you like the video, give it a like. But look, this is pretty much what I wanted to say for today's topic, right? Because I'm a huge advocate for men's mental health. Being a person that's undergone poor mental health myself and come out on the other side, I'm a huge advocate for this. Like this sort of stuff where I hear, society controlling men, making them weak, it makes me upset, bro. It makes me really furious that we're living in a society that's like this in this day and age, but it's okay. It is what it is. We can't control what they put out there, right? What society puts out there, we can't control. But what we can control is our mind and the energy we decide to engage in, right? Like in these behaviors, like we've got control over if we want to indulge in this particular habits or if we don't want to indulge in these habits, right? It's plain and simple. It's either we indulge in them, give them energy, or not allow these habits to take over our life, yeah? And stay in control and be in the driver's seat. So look, ending the video here. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.